G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is a small game shotgun. This is a standalone lever-action shotgun, which features the same animations as a lever-action rifle from Fallout 4 Far Harbor, but I've got a right-handed replacer patch on this thing, as well as the animation replacer, so this thing's going to be at least reloading fresh. If you've used those mods, then you know what they're like. They've still got the same sort of bugs where you'll always reload 5 rounds in this thing, regardless of how many you've expelled from the tube, so, you know, there's no bullet count reloaded sort of setup happening here. This is all sort of vanilla, but replaced. So this weapon is based off a Winchester Model 1895, which is a similar looking lever action shotgun, but this one appears to be a hybrid between that and a lever action rifle from Far Harbor. So it's got a little bit of that Fallout 4 aesthetic about it to make it feel perfectly lore-friendly. The small game shotgun's namesake comes from the fact that it's firing a much smaller than your standard vanilla game 12-gauge shotgun shell. This thing is firing the munitions base for 10-gauge, which are comparatively a lot smaller and so much less powerful than your standard vanilla game stuff. So you won't be able to be hunting down bears or bulls or boars or moose or deers with this sort of caliber, but geese, ducks, and chickens, yeah, there you go, that's an easy fight. Maybe even rabbits as well. So we're going to be punching above our weight a little bit with this thing, firing at full-grown human adults and possibly stuff that's even bigger than that. So our work's cut out for us, but I suppose we'll get into the attachments. First of all, we've got the receivers. We'll scroll all the way down. The most powerful receiver we can get is the advanced, more respectable 161 from that, which is not too bad at all. We've got a long barrel right now. You can have a short barrel if you feel like it, so it'll be slightly more effective in VATS. But you know, doing your range on this thing, and for a shotgun, every single range point that you can get is critical. There's also options for recoil compensating versions of that, marksman's barrels, heavier barrels, which appears to extend the tube a little bit. I wonder if that'll increase the ammo capacity. Who knows? There's also an inbuilt suppressed barrel, but you're better off just throwing a suppressor on the muzzle section, because that is going to give you barely any range whatsoever. So the marksman barrel appears to be the strongest in terms of your ability to reach out and do damage and stuff, so we'll throw that one on, and we'll move on to the stock. So you can have a cool mare's leg stock if you want to have like a super cool cowboy sort of build setup going on with that, then that's kind of cool. There's also options for full stocks, marksman's, which has cool sort of shotgun shells stacked on the side, gunslinger as well, comfort, and there's this cool sniper stock, which is nice. Exceptional sighted accuracy, recoil, aim with scopes. Interesting. Might come back to the scopes a little bit later, but for now, we'll go over the ammunition type. So this will all be taking the 410 gauge, but this will just be changing the flavor of what bullets you shoot. And if you want to turn this back into a lever action rifle, you can turn it into like a pulse slug or just standard slugs. 175 damage per bullet is not too bad. I'm thinking you can get better out of a lever action rifle. But if you want to have a longer range approach for a lever action small game shotgun, then, well, you can do that. There's also Dragon's Breath, which is kind of cool, but obviously it's the sort of the lazy, boring variant where they just give you incendiary projectiles, which give you barely any points of damage on the burn at all. It makes cool traces, though. Flechette is bleeding, so that's good if it stacks between projectiles. That might be particularly potent. And Magnum just gives you a straight-up increase in damage at the cost of recoil. And they're not worried about recoil because it's a lever action, so the time for rechambering will allow the reticule to reset anyway. So I think that is quite fine. You can have standard sights, glow sights, there's options for scopes, there's options for reflex sights as well. So if you want to optimize this slightly better for VATS or just make it easier to aim, then a reflex sight is always a good option for that. Now for the muzzles, you can have options to control the recoil. Like I said before, again, like you don't really need to do this. The rechambering speed on this thing is not going to mean recoil is going to get on top of you. The more interesting stuff, obviously, is the suppressor. Gives me extra bonus of damage thanks to Ace Operator. 222 is pretty good. It also doesn't cost you any range at all, which is nice. And through a patch that I recently downloaded, this is actually going to be nice and quiet as well, so better and better. The duckbill is interesting because it gives you a little bit of extra range. Not that much, but the tighter spread might make it a little bit more consistent over range as well if you're not using VATS, for example. There's also a spiked compensator for bash damage, but honestly, why would you bash when you can just shoot them instead? Perhaps if you want to interrupt the reload animation, but no, you'd rather just shoot them instead, wouldn't you? Anyways, we'll go for a suppressor on this thing because 222 damage is certainly getting up there. And a legendary effect is there if you need it. Obviously, explosive would be particularly potent with this being a scatter shot weapon, but there we go. There's our small game shotgun. I'll show you to get some of these and I'll create some more. The small game shotgun can be found on raiders, gunners, and shops, basically on every NPC that you might find a weapon on, past level 5, so obviously early game shotgun type weapon, but it's here at Clio, so we'll take it, thank you very much. There's a unique version that is in Far Harbor on Red Death Island, which is here, like all the way on the southwestern corner of the map. Anyways, you'll find this boat here. There's a fog crawler inside it. It's actually called the Mist Crawler. It was dead when I got here, so I didn't get to kill this thing, but he drops the Rad Slayer, a little bit like the Rat Slayer, same sort of color scheme, but this one gives you a shit ton of extra irradiation damage, which is going to be good for human targets and might be the saving grace here. There's also a couple of shells that he's carrying as well, just so you could actually use this thing should you not have the required ammo yet, because, you know, munitions, they don't give it to you right away. Alrighty, time to begin. We're at Immersive Gunners Plaza again, and here is our lever action shotgun in first person. Yes, looks very, very similar to... Those crows just disappeared out of thin air. That's some Institute cloaking technology for you. Anyways, there's the reload animation and the rechambering. Looks like that. That's kind of cool, right? And yeah, very similar to that of the vanilla game lever action rifle. There's the reload animation in third person. I'm sure we'll be seeing that a lot. Here's the Rad Slayer, the sniper status version with a medium scope. Not too bad. Also has same sounds as a radium rifle, which, you know, makes sense from Far Harbor. May as well utilize those assets, and they've done that pretty well. This one here, mare's leg flechette looking thing. So yeah, as you can probably hear, same sounds as a combat shotgun, which I think suit. Or you could probably have up-pitched them a little bit to make them sound a little bit less 12 gaugey. Lastly, I've got a pulse slug version, which you can't see it, but it does shock them a little bit. I think I'm getting like 1 point of damage out of that. That's pretty helpful, I guess. There's a better sniper version I could be using right now, but regardless, the behemoth's dead, and there's your small game hunter hunting very big game indeed. So it is in fact possible. Anyways, we'll get started here by shooting at some more capable foes. Oh yeah. And I knew this would happen. This is awesome news. Yes, shouldn't be holding my breath. That's a waste of AP there. But yes, the radium rifle for some reason has the old school Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas plasma gun sound in slow motion. So you get this glorious sound when it fires, and it's awesome. I don't think the radiation is what's killing them. I think it's the sneak criticals, and we probably won't be able to do this for very long. But we're getting plenty of Grim Reaper sprint procs, and I think at this stage I've killed more than 4, right? So, instant crits, maybe? I didn't mean to do that, actually. But yeah, you can turn this thing into a pretty effective sniper, despite it being, you know, a shotgun, which is pleasing. You know, you always like a little bit of versatility in your weapons. Obviously, we're going to have the big limitations of a small magazine capacity, which we'll have to manage pretty carefully. We'll go for a critical here. Make sure that hits. Mysterious Stranger is showing up now. It's probably about time that he aggroes them, and then I don't get any sneak criticals anymore. But yep, so far so good. We've been taking it kind of easy, and, you know, for a shotgun, we've been doing sniping for the entirety of this, so why don't I just expend this last bit of magazine here, and then we'll get started on something a little bit more to its strengths, maybe. Anyways, here's a suppressed Magnum buckshot. Now I'm shooting. Those 2 first shots were a warning, just in case. I'm also noticing that, for some reason, there's not as many projectiles, which is great for how damage resistance is calculated. So that's good. There's also a mantis here. Get out. No one likes you. Out. We might be on the very cusp of a small game on that particular mantis. What I could do, however, is crits. Shotgun crits are always pretty strong. You bypass all of that damage reduction and stuff. And this thing, fairly efficient on its AP use. Also, if you've noticed the music, it is in fact from XCOM Enemy Unknown / Within. I got sick of the Killzone music, so I chose this instead. Anyways, let's use the mare's leg version. I think this one is a little bit is far superior for close range because the sights aren't as obstructive. Just feel a little bit more confident with the really tight, small iron sights. Ooh, that was a nice crit. You know what? Let's keep going. Mare's leg seems to be doing alright at the moment. Not quite as much damage as I wanted there. Next shot should kill them. Brilliant. We'll ascend into the high heavens. Okay, yeah. Using the using that in slow motion, it's quite interesting. Let's keep those crits coming. 3 crits on the one guy. That is 4 kills now. Idiot Savant proc. Yep, that's fitting, I think. And we should get crits every shot now. So as soon as we're done reloading. Yeah. 100 apiece. Not too bad. And we wait patient. Reload again. It might be cheaper, but you know what? Using VATS is cheaper. Anyways, here we go. Wow, Mysterious Stranger just got 1700 damage on that guy. You know, he only ever hits in the normal vanilla game VATS variant for about 900, so that's pretty good. So these are the pulse slugs. Notice how it stuns her. So instead of, you know, having like an anti-robot munition type, it's a stun ray, which, again, more utility. It's always nice to have. There's a cheeky little level up there. Let's get some more VATS work done here. Not exactly sure on the chance of the stunning proccing, but it seems to be fairly frequent. Every one I've shot at has gotten this stun so far. And that guy is just walking in place, so perhaps it's shorted out his motor cortex there and is, well, not enough to dissuade him from reloading. That's another cool knockdown. Oh, little baby gunner. Just wait till I'm done reloading, then I'll get you.
Stop right there. You're going to do what I... You. Kill.
Go, brave gunner. I'll try to save her. Oh, she's got so little health left. Just in time to finish the reload. Alright. Don't worry, you'll make a fine addition to... Never mind, I'm not running an organization like Diamond Dogs. I'm not going to balloon them out of the combat zone. Well, I can't find anything to shoot, so I'll shoot you. How's that sound? Ah, there you are. Where's Gunner Friend at? Who knows? Oh, there's a nice little lockdown there. Let's go back over to my suppressed version. Nice. He decided, no, I'm not going to take damage that time. Yeah, that was totally the gun bash doing that. So, if I'm not constantly spamming crits or doing other cheap stuff to increase the damage, this thing, well, it kind of struggles. But the way that it does work in VATS, how effective it is sort of at its job, or how efficient it is on those AP, I think that is really playing to its strengths. It's where you want to be. The trouble is, for such an early game weapon, you have to be speccing pretty hard into the luck and the perks therein to really see that kind of benefit. And if you're not maxing out your agility in an earlier level, you won't see as quite of a strong sort of showing from this thing. But again, we're at end game level, so yes, we're sort of punching above this thing's weight class. But even so, it's doing an admirable job. It's weird hearing vanilla game combat tracks. Nailing those headshots seems to do me pretty well. Let me just go over something else. Not this one. What about this one? Yeah, that one. So, I don't know how hard it'd be to increase this thing's like script power, right? Giving it a bullet count reload potential, maybe offering a option to have some sort of barrel tube length, increase ammo capacity. What are you shooting at? You're okay? Alright. We're done here, and, well, it felt like it took a little bit longer than standard, but again, we're sort of... This thing is not designed for such conflicts, so that's great. We've done pretty well there, honestly. And now we get to shoot this guy, Batman style. Alright, we're good. Again, it works with the classic holstered weapons as well. Even the mare's leg variant happens. Oh, if you're wondering about the scarf, wow. Alright, so I think we'll call it a video after taking out the mighty swan, who's, looks like he's taking out a bunch of little creatures. I would have loved to have gotten that hit. Hey, that's a concept art centaur. That's really cool. If I can get a couple of quick kills here, that would be brilliant, but I'd like to get some sort of gun fu thing happening here. That's one kill, hoping for a Grim Reaper sprint at some point. No. Luck wasn't on my side, but hopefully we can shoot this guy down from where he is. I haven't seen whether we've... There's the sniper knockdowns. Okay. We've definitely observed it, but you could argue that you get double the knockdown power if you're using the pulse slugs at the same sort of time. The mysterious stranger shows up. He's about to get mega stomped on.
New orders for you.
Wow, that's weird. New orders for who exactly? Mysterious stranger? Anyways, he's going ham down there. That's a couple of 1,000 points of damage. I think he just emptied his entire revolver into him, which is not half bad. So yeah, turning the shotgun into a sniper is going to be the most effective way of running this. And it might actually send him cartwheeling to the Shadow Realm, because sometimes he just decides, I'm just gonna fall through the earth, because he's sort of a big guy. So he tends to get under the collision, and the game can survive without him alive, so it doesn't bother to bring him back up to the surface. He just dwells down the Shadow Realm for as long as he lives. I'm thinking too, if you want to make this a complete knockdown ray, you could just use a standard 12 gauge, oh not 12 gauge, standard shotgun shell, and utilize a, say, just a scope along with that, so you get the multiple projectiles and the chance to knock down, and a timely reload there. Perfect, VATS defense ate all of that. And the mysterious stranger shows up as well. I somehow managed to... Did he do anything? Dunno. Anyways, I'll keep fighting him. This is the biggest game it's fought yet, and the... Well, it's not going too terrible. I'm going to see if the pulse slugs actually stun the big man. I think... I don't believe... he should be stunned, but I'm going to test it anyway. Ah, mysterious stranger again. If he's focusing on me, that would be great. Not quite. Alright, I'm officially out of crits. I was wondering when that well was going to run out. But as you can tell, it's doing pretty good damage. And he's just crushed something else. I'm not sure what that was, but safe to say that, oh boy, that he is not in a good mood, obviously. Go nerd rage again, and just reload this thing nice and fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure that doesn't hit me. Good, good. Desperately need a knockdown here. And a little bit of cover helps too. That's full cover. Miss. There we go. unfortunately, whilst he's ragdolling, the collisions, they don't work well. So I'm missing a couple of shots that I would normally be able to nail if he wasn't totally ragdolling, but that's fine. A couple of crits in the bag will do the job. A nice little pirouette to... Good. Hope you got a stunt double for that one. That looked painful. And we're done. And the XP number was funny if, you know, you're watching in 2012. Alrighty. So that there was the shotgun of the small game variety. And, well, it did alright. I mean, obviously, this is not a weapon that is rated for an endgame setting as indicated by its level, but it can still do alright. It's got a lot of strengths about it that if you can play to those strengths, you can probably have a good time, but yeah, there's a lot of other endgame shotgun mods that'll just give you straight up better performance than this, but that is not to say it's a bad made mod or anything. I also swapped the bow tie out for a flower, bloodleaf. I think that looks better, and I probably won't get sued by Disney doing that, so isn't that good? Anyway, so if you'd like to see this weapon in your game, check out the link in the description. It'll be down there. Go check it out. It's a pretty good mod. If you're new to Fallout 4, if you've come in from watching the show and you want to experience mods for the first time, then anything made by DAC is going to be well balanced and good enough to utilize through your playthrough. So adding more variety and more guns in your game, I don't think is ever a bad thing either. Keep an eye out for follower mods from me too. Nina's coming out pretty soon, just as soon as I find a voice actress. Anyways, thanks for watching. See you next time.